Shalom. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to begin reading in Matthew chapter 15. And this is a chapter that's entitled Breaking Boundaries, because there are some parts in this chapter where Jesus is pushing the boundaries of things that a lot of people have grown to believe should be the way they are. And what Christ is teaching is those are man-made, and we need to elevate the Word of God above man-made traditions. And so here's the first section of chapter 15. I'm going to read these first few verses. I'm reading from the New International Version, by the way. Then some Pharisees and teachers of the law came to Jesus from Jerusalem and asked, "Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? They don't wash their hands before they eat." Now, you got to understand, hand washing that the Pharisees are talking about and that Jesus is dealing with, it is not like we do today in our modern world, where we take some sort of soap or some sort of body wash or hand wash and we wash them under running water and we wash our hands and get dirt off of them, stuff like that. No. This is a purification ritual. And it is still continued today in Orthodox Jewish homes and individuals who are following the Orthodox way. There's a little pitcher of water, and you hold it in your right hand. You pour it 3 times over your left hand, put the pitcher down. You then take the left hand and you pour it 3 times over the right hand, put the pitcher down. That's the hand washing they're talking about. It's not about hygiene. It's a ritual of purification. Now, this is a tradition that began. This is not in the Torah. This is not in the law of Moses. But the Pharisees and many other Jewish groups began to add to the Torah in an attempt to interpret what is meant. And so that became the oral tradition, which later got written down. That's called the Mishnah. And there's also a written tradition called the Talmud. There's a Babylonian Talmud. There's a Jerusalem Talmud. The Babylonian Talmud has written most of it. But this is really a collection of traditions called the Mishnah, which is an interpretation of the law. And it's a tradition, though. It's not the actual law itself. The law itself does not say anything about that particular ritual being something that has to be done. So this is important. So they want to know, why are you breaking this tradition? Tradition is very important to them. They notice as Jesus and his disciples are sitting down to eat, they're not doing the ritual pouring. And they want to know what's going on. Why don't they wash their hands before they eat? And Jesus says, well, why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. But you say that if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father or mother is devoted to God, they are not to honor their father or mother. They are not to honor their father or mother with it. Thus you nullify the word of God for the sake of your tradition. You hypocrites! Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. That's from Isaiah, by the way, chapter 59, verse 30. So there's a word called korban, C-O-R-B-A-N, and that's what is meant in that phrase, devoted to God. So in other words, we have a law of God that says that we're to honor our father and our mother. That's the law. That's in the 10 Commandments. And Jesus said, you've been finding a way to get around that. You've created this ritual called korban, so that what I was going to be using to take care of my mother and my father, I decided to devote that to God. And so since it's devoted to God, I'm no longer obligated to look after my mother and father. The tradition of man got elevated over the command of God. So this becomes, and he wants to know, why are you doing that? And he quotes from Isaiah. Yeah, these people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me, because they are worship. Their worship is in vain. They're worshiping teachings that are just human rules. That's Isaiah 29:13. So that's an important thing that he grasps there. And this is where the point should be made, that, and this is where the boundary is broken. Tradition is a good thing to have. Everybody has traditions. I don't care if you're Catholic or Orthodox or Baptist or Presbyterian or Lutheran or Methodist or non-denominational, charismatic, etc. Everyone has various traditions, but these traditions never supersede or have more power than the Word of God. That's an important thing to grasp. And this is what Jesus is making in here. And in the next few verses, he's going to go further than that, but I'm going to do that in the next video. Thanks for joining me.